Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm sharing a story that's been weighing on me, one that I found deep in the archives of Reddit. It's a story about love, about plans for a perfect future, and about how everything can change in the blink of an eye. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into this unforgettable tale. It all started 7 years ago. I met a woman named Alara. She wasn't just another person. She was like a force of nature, bright, funny, with a laugh that could make the gloomiest day feel sunny. We met through mutual friends, a classic setup, but our connection felt anything but ordinary. From our first conversation, it was like we'd known each other for a lifetime. We talked for hours about everything and nothing, our dreams, our fears, our favorite silly movies. It was effortless. Our first date was a walk in the park, which turned into an impromptu picnic, which then turned into watching the sunset from a hill overlooking the city. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the person I've been waiting for. The next few years were a whirlwind of happiness. We built a life together, not just as a couple, but as true partners. We supported each other through career changes, celebrated small victories with cheap champagne, and comforted each other when life got tough. We were planners. We had a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a retire to a small cottage by the sea plan. We even had a name for the golden retriever we'd get one day, Barnaby. We spent weekends looking at houses online, debating paint colors for a nursery that didn't exist yet, and arguing playfully over who was the better cook. It was definitely her. Our future felt so tangible, so real, I could almost reach out and touch it. It was a beautiful blueprint of a life I couldn't wait to live. Then came the day it all fell apart. It was a Tuesday. I remember the date, the time, even what I was wearing. It was completely normal. I left for work after our usual routine, a quick kiss, an I love you, and a promise to pick up groceries on my way home. She was working from home that day, finishing up a big project. I texted her around lunchtime, a funny meme I saw, no reply. I figured she was busy, in the zone. I called her around 3 p.m. to check in. The phone rang and rang, then went to voicemail. Hey, it's me. Hope you're crushing that project. Call me back when you get a chance. Love you. A little flicker of unease started, but I pushed it down. She's focused, I told myself. She probably just has her phone on silent. When I got home that evening, the house was quiet, too quiet. Her laptop was open on the dining table, a half-empty mug of coffee beside it. Her car was in the driveway. Her keys and wallet were on the little tray by the door where she always left them, but she wasn't there. I called her name, checked every room, the backyard, the garage, nothing. It was as if she had simply vanished into thin air. Panic started to set in, cold and sharp. This wasn't like her. She would never just leave without her phone or wallet. She'd never just disappear. I started calling her friends, her family. Have you heard from Alara? The answer was always the same. No, not since yesterday. Is everything okay? No. Nothing was okay. My carefully planned future, our shared world, was starting to crack at the seams. By 9 p.m. I was at the police station, my voice trembling as I filed a missing person report. The officer was kind but procedural. Any arguments? Any reason she might want to leave? I shook my head, my mind racing. No, we were happy. We were planning our forever. We had just been looking at engagement rings online the week before. None of it made any sense. The days that followed are a blur of fear and confusion. Friends and family helped put up flyers with her smiling face on them. The police investigation started and our life was put under a microscope. They interviewed me for hours, asking questions that made me feel like a suspect in my own tragedy. They searched our home, went through our messages, our emails, looking for any clue, any hint of where she could have gone. Weeks turned into months. The initial flurry of activity died down. The news stories faded. The police had no leads, no witnesses, no signs of a struggle, no financial activity, nothing. Alara had just gone. The not knowing was the worst part. It was a constant gnawing emptiness. Every time the phone rang, my heart would leap, hoping it was her, or at least news of her. Every time I saw a woman with similar hair from behind, I'd hold my breath. I spent the next year in a haze. I went to work. I came home to our empty house. I looked at the ghost of the life we were supposed to have. Her clothes still hung in the closet. Barnaby's dog bed, which we'd bought on a whim, sat unused in the corner. Our future was now a museum of what-ifs. I became obsessed with finding her, spending my nights scouring online forums, chasing down flimsy leads, talking to private investigators who gave me false hope for a fee. Eventually you have to find a way to move forward, or the grief will swallow you whole. It wasn't a conscious decision, but a slow, painful process of survival. I started packing up her things, each item a fresh wave of pain. I sold the house we'd shared, the one filled with too many memories. I moved to a new city, hoping a change of scenery could quiet the ghosts. Years passed. I built a new life, a different one. I have friends, a decent job. On the surface, I'm fine. But there's a part of me that's permanently frozen on that Tuesday. A part of me is still waiting for her to walk through the door, laughing, with a perfectly reasonable explanation for where she's been. Then, about 6 months ago, the impossible happened. I was on a business trip in a city thousands of miles away. I was walking through a crowded market when I saw her. It was her, older, her hair was different, but it was unmistakably Alara. She was with a man and 2 young children. She looked happy, content. My world stopped. My heart hammered against my ribs. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I just stood there, hidden behind a fruit stand, watching the family I never had. She laughed at something the little boy said, and it was the same laugh, the exact same one. For a moment, I thought I was hallucinating, that my grief was finally making me see things. I almost walked away. Part of me screamed to just turn around and let it go, but I couldn't. I had to know. I took a deep breath and walked towards her. Lara, I said. Her name felt strange on my tongue after all this time. She turned, her eyes widened, and for a split second I saw recognition. Then, it was gone, replaced by a cool, polite confusion. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice steady. "I think you have me mistaken for someone else. My name is Sarah." The man beside her put a protective arm around her. I looked into her eyes, searching for any flicker of the woman I loved, the woman who had planned a future with me. There was nothing, just a stranger looking back at me. I mumbled an apology and backed away, my mind spinning. Was it possible? Could it really not be her, or was she lying? Had she started a new life, erased her past so completely that she could look me in the eye and pretend not to know me? I'll never have the answer. I walked away from that market with more questions than I started with, and I realized then that some disappearances don't have a neat ending. Some people are just gone, even when you find them. Our love story didn't end, it just stopped. And maybe that's the most heartbreaking ending of all. Thank you for listening to this story with me today. It's a powerful reminder of how fragile life and our plans can be. If you were moved by this story, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.